Welcome to another session with the Market Trader. My name's Ray, the Market Trader, and today I thought we could do a review of all the major future markets here in anticipation of the week ahead in trading. Okay, so before you is a monthly chart of the S&P 500. And you can see here that we have been continue to be in a bullish market. We have higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. Now, the only thing that is of note on the monthly chart is this most recent candle. We're a few days away from the close of the month of July, and you can see here that we have a little bit of I would say indecision in the market with this kind of doji-like or high wave candle that's currently being developed here. Okay, we have wicks on both ends, on the sell side and the buy side. Okay, but nonetheless, market still seems to be very much in a bullish market structure. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the weekly chart. Okay, weekly chart, again, similar viewpoint here. Okay, we have a series of higher highs. Okay, higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so an area that I'm going to be taking a look at, just kind of taking this measure here of this area. Okay, I'm going to be looking at this level here at what is this? 5,400. Okay, 5,400 is both a psychological level and it's also the bottom end of this channel here. So that's going to be an important level for the ES to continue to maintain this bullish structure to the upside. Okay, so let's now take a look at the daily chart. All right, so daily chart, we have our channel here in place. We've already identified that this area here down at 5,400 is going to be in an important area to maintain if we are to maintain this bullish structure to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this candle here and kind of zoom in on this candle. That's the series of bullish candles that we've received here. Now, a couple of areas that I want to make note here on the daily chart. Okay, and the first one, and this is more of a potential demand zone. Okay, and this area down below here at around I'm going to go ahead and color this in a, I would say, more of a kind of a lighter shade of green here, since I haven't really received anything in the way of any sort of rejection away from this area. We are receiving a little bit of a push. We have a developing bullish candle as we speak. Now, the area that I'm going to be particularly focused on is this area that was once supportive here. Okay, so this area right here was once supportive and now has been broken. So what was support now becomes resistant. So this area here coming up at this looks like, if I kind of extend this over to the right here, right about there. Okay, so we are inside it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and shade that in kind of a color pink here. So this 5522, okay, up to, say, I'm going to call it 55. Yeah, let's go ahead and call it 5560. Okay, so this area could be an area where we could see a continuation of this bearish structure. Now, unlike the monthly and the weekly, this is I guess the first time frame where we're starting to see a little bit of bearish structure. Specifically, we're seeing lower highs and lower lows, okay, in this market. Now, the question is whether it's going to continue in this bearish structure, and if so, the expectation is that we're not going to get any breaks of any of these swings to the upside. Okay, that we're not going to get above, let's say, what is this level here? Say 5630. Okay, because if we do get a close above 5630, then we could be experiencing maybe a bit of change in market structure from bearish to bullish on the daily chart. Okay, the more likely scenario would be that since we've broken these levels to the downside, that we're going to come back and retest, say, 55.50 or 55.60 and continue our move to the downside. For the ES, we were developing a bit of a kind of indecisive candle here, right? That's not the case. That's not the case in the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ appears to be a little bit weaker in the sense of this candle here, right? We are developing a little bit of a bearish piercing candle. We have a bit of selling that is present above. We are getting a little bit of rejection above, but nonetheless, the structure remains to the bullish side. And honestly, until we get a break below, let's say this channel that I'm drawing here, okay, unless we get a break, say, below 17,610, then we have to say that we still remain in a bullish market structure here. Okay, so let's take a look at the weekly chart. Okay, so the weekly chart, we're starting to get a little bit of focus inside some of these monthly candles. You can see here that we have developed a series of candles here that has broken some structure here to the downside, and now we're at the next logical location for maybe some support in this market. Okay, right around let's call it let's see if I can draw this out here with my horizontal line here. I'd like to kind of draw a line right about there. Okay, so let's call it 18,789.50. And if we do happen to break below that, then the next logical level here is back down to 17,400, and maybe the bottom end of this channel here at, say, 18,000, actually 17,430. Okay, somewhere in that range. Okay, so on the weekly chart, it appears that we're starting to look a bit, we're starting to see some price action that would indicate that maybe we are in a little bit of a kind of developing some bearish structure in an otherwise larger bullish direction. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily chart. All right, daily chart. We'll go ahead and remove some of these channels here. Okay, so we'll take a look again. We're seeing some lower lows and lower highs, or lower highs and lower lows. Okay, as we kind of trek our way down here. Okay, so again, on the daily chart, some of the levels that I'm going to be particularly focused in on is this level right here at 717.50. Okay. Is that 717.50? No, actually 737.50. So that's going to be a logical level for me, because this level was a level of support in the past, broken below it. So the anticipation here is what was supportive will in the future become resistant in this market. Okay, so again, this level here at 19,737.50 seems to me like a logical level where we might get a continuation in price to the downside. Okay, that's one scenario that I see on the day. Now, from a bullish perspective, well, we've come into a level here. Okay, we've come into a level here where we could anticipate some level of support. Okay, we have already received a couple of candles, one confirmed, the second still developing, where we are reacting away from an area where we have seen buying in the past. Okay, So that speaks to maybe some potential bullish price action to the upside. Now, what I would like to see, if that sentiment does hold true, then I would like to see price action break this bearish channel to the downside. So I would like to see price, say, get above, let's say, just kind of ballpark this here a bit. Let's call it 19,400. Okay, in order for me to begin to embrace that view that we are moving from a bearish structure to more of a bullish structure in this market. Okay, so those are a couple of scenarios that I could see play out here. It'll be interesting to me if we can hold price above, let's call it 18,000. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, let's call it 18,740. Okay, if we can maintain that, then we have a reasonable chance of potentially headed higher. And then, so as far as the bulls go, and then from a bearish perspective, then this level here of 19,737.50 is an interesting level for me to participate potentially in a continuation move to the downside. Again, an area where we had prior support broken, and now with the anticipation is that if price were to come back to it, then we should expect price to head lower. All right. Now move on to the crude oil market. I'm just going to open up the continuous contract here. Okay, so here I have the continuous contract, and again I'm just going to go ahead and open up the monthly chart. All right, so we are looking at this from a monthly perspective, so just going to zoom in here as best I can to get proper context of the market here. So it looks like we are in some sort of consolidation pattern. We see a lot in the way of overlapping candles here. I can see that we can maybe even draw maybe some sort of triangle pattern here, maybe a diagonal pattern of some sort here. So appears to me that there is a move in the horizon here. Now the question is what direction? That's the operative word here, right? We don't know exactly what direction, but we know that it's coiling to do something. All right. So let's take a look at the weekly chart. Okay, weekly chart. Again, we're in this kind of coiling structure here. So I'm going to adjust this triangle pattern that I drew here to kind of align with what I'm seeing here. Let's see, is this going to maybe shorten this up here a little bit and do the same down below. Okay, again, kind of maintaining this. Now, you can see here that we are starting to make a sequence of lower highs and lower lows. Okay, if we follow this sequence down here, and then on the bottom end of this triangle we have the opposite. So that's just the function of that we are in some sort of consolidation area currently in the crude oil. All right, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at the daily chart. All right. So daily chart, we're going to go ahead and open that up here. So looking at the daily chart, okay, we're going to go ahead and zoom in here. We're going to go ahead and remove the triangles, lines here, trend lines that we drew on the monthly and weekly chart. And we're just going to go ahead and focus on the more recent candles that we've been seeing. Okay. And as you can see here, again, we are developing a series of lower highs and lower lows in the market, right? So we got lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Okay, so we are in somewhat of a some bearish price structure. Okay, in a larger bullish potential bullish swing. Okay, now what are some areas of interest? Okay, well, on the daily chart, I would have to say that 82 remains an area of interest here. Okay, so if I take a look here, I'm going to go ahead and draw in my rectangular box here to indicate my supply zone. Okay, here on the daily chart, I'm going to go ahead and shade that in as a little bit darker red color, because I have seen that we have rejected away from it. Okay, so that's what I see on the supply side. Now on the demand side, I see that there is an area here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. Okay, draw that in. We can see that we've responded away from it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw that as a green, okay, color, okay, indicating an area of demand. Okay, and we've received some rejection. Okay, we came down to this area, rejected away from it, but it was immediately met with some sellers. Okay, now this area has not technically broken. We still are inside this demand area, but assuming we break below let's say 75.87, then it starts to open the door for lower prices, such as 70, 73, 75, and maybe as low as let's see, maybe as low here as say 72.25. Something with a review of the gold market. All right, so gold market. Again, we're going to review this from a monthly time frame. Okay, so looking at the monthly has been making some highs here. Now we do have some selling pressure as evident by these selling wicks that we see here, including the selling wick that's been developed here. Now we're about 3 days away from this current candle closing, or this current monthly candle closing. So it'll be interesting to see how well this candle closes and whether it's able to maintain this structure that we're seeing to the upside in gold. All right. Now let's go ahead and move on to the weekly chart. Weekly chart, we're going to go ahead and zoom in on these candles that we're seeing here. Okay, so we're looking at the more recent candles where we're seeing the wicks. We're seeing some overlapping set of candles here, indicating that the price of gold has been in this kind of range, say as high as 24.84, as low as 2300. The weekly chart. Moving on to the daily. Okay, daily chart. Again, we have our weekly levels kind of drawn in. We have been in this kind of overlapping kind of price structure here. So until we make, some sort of move outside of this structure, we basically have to, sell the highs and buy the lows of this range. Okay, so an area here, maybe kind of an area on the long side would be this area. Slightly above, let's say 2340, okay, would be kind of the area that I'm looking at for the bull side. We have received some reaction. We have actually have not quite made it down to that level yet. But again, looking at these candles here, it indicates that there might be some buyers at this level here. So this area right here seems to be, based on what I'm seeing here, seems to be a ripe location for some potential buyers. Assuming that we do break below, then the next logical level is this 2240 as low as 2190 level. Seems to be the next logical level. We're coming into an area of demand, so I have to be wary of that. But should price maybe come back up to 2245, somewhere in that range, well, that seems to me like a logical area for price to reverse from, basically selling strength. Because you can see here, if we review these candles, certainly the more recent candles, it definitely feels like the bears are very much in control of the market. Okay, the bullish candles that have been developed of late have not been of similar strength as the bears. Okay, so we have to go into the session or into the week thinking more on the bearish side. Okay, go ahead and draw some channels here. Okay, let's see if I can open up that channel tool. Okay, so if again, I'm going to be looking for price to break above this channel, this bearish channel, before I would kind of throw in the towel as far as the bears are concerned. If it's unable to break above this channel, then I'm willing to follow this bearish structure to the downside and look for opportunities maybe at the upper end of this channel for a continuation move to the downside, potentially through this 2290 level all the way down to 2240. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing across all the various markets as we head into the new week.